Hello and welcome back. It's Terry, and this video is going to be the first video in a series of videos. As long as I keep growing orchids, it will. And making these videos, it will. But anywho, this is basically 5 orchids we all love. But for some reason or another, I can't grow, and I won't grow it, won't buy it, won't try it anymore. So I'll just get started. First one on my list is an orchid that I no longer have. It's one of the first orchids that I had, and I did love it. I believe I just got it at a big box store, perhaps. I don't remember. It wasn't at a nursery. It was a intergeneric. It was a Miltonidium Hawaiian Sunset, and that plant was the most fragrant orchid. I looked forward to it every year that it bloomed, sometimes twice a year. Literally, I could walk outside to detect that fragrance and know what it was. It was amazing. But the downside to that plant was, besides the fact that it was an oncidium type, which I just inherently have the most difficult time with, the plant also had an issue with mealybugs that loved that happy sap that this plant put out whenever it was growing, whether it was a new growth, when it was putting up the spikes. The mealybugs would just appear out of nowhere on a moment's notice, and really is what contributed to me not wanting that plant. Even though it deteriorated over the years, like most oncidiums do for me, those mealybugs ruined any chance of getting bugs or getting flowers, because the effort that it took to try to get them off of the new growths, the buds, the flowers, you didn't get a chance to even enjoy the flowers when you did get some. So that is one that I had to sadly stop growing. Now the next that is on my list is one that I currently have that is at this moment grasping its last breath. And this is, of course, Encyclia citrina, Eucale citrina. Very expensive plant to buy, very finicky, difficult for me in my environment, even when I try to give it a cold, cool, dry rest like it likes in its native environment. I still can't do it. Just can't do it. So even though I love the plant, love the fragrance of the flower, the beauty, the delicate, the regalness of the tulip-like flower, the citron scent, no more. Okay, so the third plant or orchid that I love to hate is another one, and sorry for my mess, I am cleaning. Another one that is on most people's bucket lists, but most people can't grow it. Unless you live in a temperate climate that does not have extreme temperatures. If so, you will have much success with this plant right here, which, if you don't already recognize it, and my tag doesn't say it, this is solagini christata, which, as I've said, it is serving just to hold up my dendrobium right here, but we all want this plant in our collection. The only people that don't want it are the ones that grow it so well that it just gets to be a big bush, and that's too big, too much of a plant. It's very heavy because it's pendant, but the fragrance, even just the little pseudobulbs, when they are not crinkly, it's just so nice and unique. But then the flowers that come out in the early spring are just intoxicating. But these like a cool, dry winter. They don't like too hot of conditions in the summer, which is what I have. So therefore, I can't grow it, and I won't. Off my list. Okay. The next plant on that list of plants, orchids that I love, but orchids that I cannot grow and won't spend my money on growing anymore. The next orchid on that list is Angricum leonis. And I just tossed my Angricum leonis, and I am very sad to say that out of perhaps 25 leonis, mounted, potted, bare root, none of them have been successful, but yet I have still remained intoxicated and just hypnotized by the flower, the fragrance, the form of the foliage. Everything about it is something to desire. But I've spent too much money and time and just effort with no results. So therefore, sad to say, Angricum leonis, you will be no more. The last orchid, or genus, I should say genus, because this is a genus, but I will choose one species of the genus, which would be my favorite of all, which is erangus citrata. I have tried so many times, mounted, seedlings, specimens, pots, bare root, sphagnum moss, semi-hydro, cork, tree fern, bark. Not a one is alive. I've smelled the fragrance and I still want the plant so much. There's so much to love about it. I would love to have a plant like this. I'm sure some of you do, but I don't, and I can't, and I won't ever, because I won't ever have it again in my collection. But if you have one, a nice one that blooms, feel free to invite me over when it blooms so that I can, again, vicariously enjoy what I can't achieve. And that's the 5 for this time. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.